I'm sorry, come again?
You Butch Body Bigot! You Butch Body Bigot!
Does anybody know if she's working on those t-shirts? The Butch Body Bigot t-shirts? Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. I am Reese Waters and this is Street Politics. Now, veterans of the channel know that last year, Marjorie Taylor Greene gave us a lot to talk about. Now, you might be wondering, we haven't had any dedicated Marjorie Taylor Greene content yet this year. Maybe she's been keeping her head on the straight and narrow. Nah, I've just been preoccupied with much more troubling aspects of the direction of our society. But she been just as trash as she was last year. I mean, there was the time that she dropped a Venmo so everybody could buy her son a beer for his birthday. I haven't seen a sloppier solicitation of money since Trump's crypto coin. That was sloppier than club night on Bad Girls Club. And she was just getting started.
We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene buy that dip. I got one question for her. How much did you make? How much did you make off of people's despair? How much did you make off that panic? How much did you make off of that suffering? No more. We can't accept it.
Put that picture back up. That is Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez speaking to a packed arena outside of Boise, Idaho last night, forcefully calling out her colleague, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for some curiously timed stock trades. Look at that crowd. Wow. Greene disclosed on Monday that she had purchased as much as $315,000 worth of stock on April 8th and April 9th. That's the day before and the day of Donald Trump's announcement that he was pausing a sweeping set of global tariffs. It's an announcement that sent the stock market soaring. The day before Trump's climb down on tariffs, she also dumped between $50,000 and $100,000 in Treasury bills. Now, when asked about last week's transactions, Greene told the Associated Press this, quote, "I have signed a fiduciary agreement to allow my financial advisor to control my investments. All of my investments are reported with full transparency," end quote. Now, since members of Congress are required by law to disclose their stock trades within 30 days of making them, we could learn more about who else may have made money off of Donald Trump's man-made stock market chaos in the coming days and weeks.
Now, let's just absorb for a moment the idea that all of these right-wing and MAGA activists turned politicians came in under the credo of drain the swamp. Isn't that what y'all were? That was the thing, right? It was drain the swamp. And see, the problem with drain the swamp and railing against the deep state is if you are in fact successful and you enter into office, welcome to the swamp and the deep state. Now, what becomes the North Star for your destructive movement? It is nothing if not our entire way of life. So for all you MAGAs out there that are always talking about the dirty politicians, where y'all at? You know what I mean? Where's QAnon? Where they at? We have all of the information. Now, granted, not all of that went unnoticed because y'all acting like y'all acting as slow as the clients on Cheaters. You know what I mean? I had no idea. She was gone the whole month of March. I didn't know what was going on. I thought her car broke down. And she just went and got it fixed. She was too ashamed to show me what had happened with the car, and that's why she was gone for 4 weeks, including my birthday. Y'all are acting that slow about calling her out on what's right in front of your eyes. But the good thing is that it didn't go unnoticed by everybody, because the thing is, eventually she had to face her own constituents as much as she tried to run away from that duty. But she actually did have to face her own constituents. And boy, what did that look like?
Please
This is just what they had going on outside. We got Marjorie Insider Trader Greene. We got Majorly Taking Greene. Nice artwork there. We got somebody who's apparently running for District 14. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Tax the rich. That's pretty good. That's good enough to hang up in the Trump White House as far as I'm concerned. Now let's go inside, shall we?
FBI, ATF, Border Patrol, ICE, and many local law enforcement, all the way from city, county, and states, all across the country are working together to track down illegal alien criminals, cartels, and terrorists that are not just living at the border. Ladies and gentlemen, they're all inside the interior of the United States. All inside the interior of the United States. You can head out. The protest is outside. Thank you very much. Protest is outside.
You Butch Body Bigot!
I'm sorry. Come again?
You Butch Body Bigot! You Butch Body Bigot!
Protest is outside. Bye. Have fun out there.
Does anybody know if she's working on those t-shirts? The Butch Body Bigot t-shirts? Okay. I got to make sure I get that down. Now let me guess. Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't dispute not one word of that. Now, did she?
Live in a place where I am one of the members of Congress that usually has the highest amount of death threats. As a matter of fact,
now, as much as I felt like that was an indictment that she didn't dispute not one word of Butch Body Bigot, here you have a man who was removed for having a jail for insider trading sign. Now, help me out here, because insider trading would be illegal. So why would jail for insider traders be a problematic sign to wave unless it was a hit dog hollering? Like, you would have been better off just letting it be and disputing the fact that you had done anything. Could you indict yourself any more than by removing a sign that simply says jail for insider traders, unless that's a position that you want to dispute? Apparently, that's what I'm supposed to take from this. You know what I mean? But here's another question. Ain't you supposed to be a woman of the people? What's with all the beefy police presence? Ain't y'all supposed to have a mandate?
Democrats support illegal aliens. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's a mandate, all right. A mandate to F off.
Stop. Are you really doing it? Stop. Are you really doing it? Really?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Stop.
This is a peaceful town hall.
You had several people forcibly removed and multiple people tased by police at the town hall. And remember that part that I said about how indicting it is that you can't allow a jail for insider traders sign? How it looks that you have to have this level of police presence. Also, the fact that apparently the free speech warriors aren't even pretending anymore. Because this was you, wasn't it, Marjorie Taylor Greene?
As we go through watching this scam impeachment trial, where you know what really is on trial, everyone, it's freedom of speech. They don't want you to have free speech. They don't want President Trump to have free speech. You see, President Trump did nothing wrong. He said nothing wrong. All he did was encourage his supporters who had come from all over the country to see him to peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol and make your voices heard. But the reality is still there. Freedom of speech is the one thing they're coming after. And why is that? It's our First Amendment. Why do you think our founding fathers made freedom of speech our First Amendment? They put it first because it's that important. If you can't speak your mind, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, to even discuss problems, to ask questions, maybe questions about things that aren't true, like I did. I posted a lot of questions and talked about things. Some of them were very true. Some of them turned out to not be true, and I'm okay with that.
Stop it. Get some help.
But they don't want you to have your freedom of speech. They want to cancel you out because it's your speech that's the greatest threat to them, just like my speech is the greatest threat to them, just like President Trump's speech is the greatest threat to them.
So was that free speech just for Trump? I'm trying to because why would you have this level of aggressive suppression? A, when you are supposedly an advocate for free speech, but B, when apparently you guys have a mandate and have the will of the people. You're openly ceding that you don't have the will of the people by you showing up like you're trying to take over a small country. The fact that you showed up like you wanted to go head to head with Greenland just to do a town hall, and that's what you needed, and this was the kind of behavior you red light, tells me you know exactly what the feeling is like on the ground. Now, to the people that were clapping in that moment, because obviously we couldn't have gotten to this point of idiocracy without the ignorance and stupidity of a great number of people. What y'all clapping for? Huh? What y'all celebrating? What y'all clapping for? The fact that you're not allowed to voice your opinion?
Turn this on. Turn it on!
The fact that you have apparently lost agency and free will, is that what you're I'm curious. I'm curious. Let me offer for you. You love Marjorie Taylor Greene. You are a huge, you live for Marjorie Taylor Greene tweets. You was all in on the Jewish space lasers. You love you some Marjorie Taylor Greene. Naturally, you ignore all of the treasury bonds and all that kind of. You just ignore you. I only see the good. Well, you better stay there. You better stay there, because if this is the kind of behavior that you're endorsing and supporting, you have given yourself no other choice. Congratulations, you played yourselves.
Yeah. Thank you. Just wondering, when you saw the response and the fact that the police had to get involved, you didn't move. You were definitely stable up there. But what was your reaction just to seeing that all play out the way it did, especially in front of some of the people who came here to support you and wanted to hear your message?
My reaction is it shouldn't be that way. America overwhelmingly voted in November for President Trump, Republican control of the House and the Senate, and how people should handle their businesses in the voting booth.
You don't believe that. You don't believe that, because if you did, you wouldn't have showed up with Team America World Police. You can't have it both ways. You can't have, if you would have showed up by yourself thinking that everybody was just ready to worship whatever it was you had to say and you got caught unawares, that'd be one thing. You showed up like this. So you know damn well that the words coming out of your mouth are nonsense, and you've admitted it to us. That's like when I first started comedy. I wouldn't even show up to the venue without 6, 7 drinks. You know what I mean? Because I knew. You know what I mean? I knew.
There's no reason for screaming, yelling, ridiculous, outrageous protesting. That disrupts the entire event for every single person that is there.
Does that include signs? Because we already saw my man just get removed for having a sign. So you're not going to sit here and lie and characterize the opposition like we don't have footage. We have footage. You know, we also have footage of all them empty seats. We got footage of all the, I ain't seen that many empty seats since I did that comedy show down at the Riverwalk in San Antonio. That's the last time I saw that many empty seats. So you're gonna have to spare me with the whole Americans voted overwhelmingly. Apparently that room didn't.
And, you know, one of the most important things I do is offer constituent services.
Is that stock tips? Is that one of the constituent services that you offer is a stock tip? Because I don't know that anybody else was up on those trades that you made. You should probably look into that, honestly. That would probably help make the people happier that were protesting outside your town hall.
And that was exactly what I wanted to be able to promote and talk about tonight.
From a safety standpoint, you even mentioned the fact that you had to keep this place secret for a little bit. The idea that there are so many people who had to have this increased police presence, does that leave you deterred at all when you know that there are people who are out there with all these thoughts about what they would want to do at one of these rallies?
No, you know, I don't like that. But no, I'm not deterred. My job is a representative of the people that voted, my district.
One more time.
My job is a representative of the people that voted, my district.
There you have it. I'm a representative for the people that voted for me and voted for Trump and continue to support us. Because remember, if you have opposition or you are dealing with pain or you want some questions answered, God forbid that you are a MAGA that is concerned with the trajectory of anything. God forbid, right? You got to be a paid activist. She just told you exactly what it was. I represent the people who support me, the people who supported me when I was elected, the people who supported Trump in November, and the people who support me now. She just gave you the whole game.
And I have to represent the entire district. That means I have a job to do. And that job is extremely important. No, I'm not deterred.
They are nothing if not sloppy. That is how they get down. MAGA might as well be sponsored by Four Loko at this point.
It was a night of hot tempers and heightened emotions here in the U.S. That's where town hall events hosted by Washington lawmakers put them face to face with the voters they represent. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley fielded questions in Iowa about a man from Maine mistakenly deported to El Salvador.
Are you going to bring that guy back from El Salvador?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
The Supreme Court said to bring him back.
We would like to know what you, as the people, the Congress, who are supposed to rein in this dictator, what are you going to do about it? These people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a foreign country with no due process. Our government cannot do anything.
Now, Grassley is known for visiting all 99 counties in Iowa every year and says that his office has received more emails so far in 2025 than all of last year. Voters questioned his support of President Donald Trump and apparently weren't happy with the response.
If you're proud of voting for Trump and what he's doing in office, are you proud of everything he's doing right now?
There's no president that I've agreed with 100%.
I didn't say that.
Let me help you, Chuck Grassley. In fact, these aren't even my words. How about the words of one of your colleagues, Lisa Murkowski? We're all afraid.
What are you going to have to say to people who are afraid? Or who represent people who are afraid? We are all afraid. Okay? It's quite a statement. But we are we're in a time and a place where I don't know. I certainly have not. I have not been here before. And I'll tell you, I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice, because retaliation is real, and that's not right.
Yeah, just go ahead and sign at the bottom of the "we're all afraid." We know what it is. She told us what it is. And by the way, don't think that video ain't coming.
All right, let's get ready to see. And it's Eva McCann who's been covering these town halls across the country. Eva.
John, it was true to form for the far-right ally of President Trump as she sparred with her own constituents. She pushed back on tough questions, accused Georgians of being brainwashed. Now, it was clear Greene relished this. Republican leadership has advised against holding these types of town halls to avoid these episodes. But what we saw last night was Greene very much looking for a fight. Listen to how she responded to a constituent concern about cuts to the federal government.
Doge gutting our government with a chainsaw approach and the utter destruction and ignoring of our Constitution and rule of law. He is not well physically or mentally. Poor Christina. Poor Christina. Well, I'm sure, Christina, you think that you're pretty smart. But the reality is you are being completely brainwashed by whatever source of news you listen to.
Now help me out, Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you had just said that voters voted overwhelmingly for the Republican agenda, but now they are brainwashed. So when did that happen? Like, was it December, or is it all like post-inauguration brainwashing? Is that what you think has happened to all of these people? Like all of a sudden their viewing habits changed, like they were hard body. Newsmax and Fox News up until January, and then they just switched over to YouTube independent journalism and like a little hint of MSNBC. Like, I'm trying to figure out the logic in you arguing both of those things simultaneously, but of course trying to hold you accountable for any consistent narrative is not a bar, apparently, that the voters in Georgia ask you to clear. Making sense apparently is too high a bar for that district. And congratulations, Georgia, you guys did this. As far as her relishing the fight and looking for the fight, that is another curious way to characterize things, because it certainly appears so. But again, you wouldn't have perceived that they would be a fight if you honestly believed you were as popular as you claimed that you are. But granted, Marjorie Taylor Greene is one to look for a fight. We saw how things went down with Laura Loomer, and that was not smoke that she wanted. Oh yeah, she is not above turning on her own. She has absolutely no scruples. In fact, most recently, she lashed out at Anna Paulina Luna after she voted with the Democrats to allow new parents in Congress to vote by proxy.
What we just voted on, this rule, Luna's bill, is extremely unfortunate. You know, being in Congress is a privilege. You don't have to be here. And there's plenty of people in her district that could serve in Congress if she chose for time to be home and be a mother. I'm very much against the bill that she's trying to force to the floor and the way she's going about it, and I think it's wrong. And it's really going to open up the door to proxy voting, which is already unconstitutional, and we shouldn't be doing it.
Now, granted, I can't express any level of surprise or shock that you could not empathize with the asks of a mother and trying to hold a family together. I mean, really, how could I? But when it comes to you and the fights that you're engaged in on many fronts, I am wondering how exactly the last conversation went with your ex-husband. I'm wondering how that went, because if it went like I think it did, then you can't really dispute that woman calling you a Butch Body Bigot now, can you?
Fulton County, Georgia. This very racist man in a racist vehicle to match decides to be very racist towards a couple Middle Eastern girls because they were praying.
Why does it matter to you then?
Because you're worshiping a false god. Don't come from your great countries and act like you're going to bring your here.
Okay.
Because y'all are pieces of
Okay, that's perfect.
You're the one attacking little girls.
Sitting here, we were quiet, we were peaceful.
You're worshiping out here.
Praying. What does that have anything to do with you?
Go back to your country.
That's fine.
You're demolished Middle Eastern
First off, we're actually for you.
Don't be Afghani or whatever the
We're not even
We're not
Afghani. I can call the cops. If you're going to keep harassing us, that's fine.
What are you calling about?
What's the religion?
Go back to your country.
Have a good day. Have a good
There's literally no benefit in owning that vehicle other than showing your allegiance to your white supremacist god, Elon. Well, I've identified him. His name is Perry Greene, and he's actually Marjorie Taylor Greene's ex-husband. Imagine my surprise. Oh, wow, he used to be married to a very racist woman. He says very racist things and drives a racist vehicle. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but maybe all these things are racist. Marjorie Taylor Greene is by all accounts a horrible human being. She makes the world worse for everybody living in it. The fact that this man fell in love with her at some point speaks volumes about his character and his judgment. I've got to admit, though, Perry, I'm impressed that your Tesla is holding up together. I heard that the glue is so bad that all these Teslas are being recalled because it's falling apart. Perry, you should be ashamed of yourself. And the eye-opening part should be the fact that you don't know what I'm talking about. I could be talking about who you were married to. I could be talking about the words that you said on camera. I could be talking about the vehicle you're driving. That's how much of a you are. You want to pick on Middle Eastern people? Why are you going for little girls? Pick on me, Perry. Pick on me. You want to know why Perry is divorced, by the way? Not because he saw the light or stood up to his wife. None of that shit. No, she cheated on him. She totally cheated on him. Perry Greene, green with envy, because he's a cuckold. How does that feel? Super embarrassing. It's not like just anybody cheated on you. She did. She did. She had to find another human being on this planet that would want to do anything with her. You're living every conservative man's dream. Divorced, in a Cybertruck, yelling at minorities. I just noticed something in editing I'm going to tag at the end. This car can also be described as badly built butch body. It's like, my man has a type, you know? And that type is Nazi.
That's right. Looks like we got another Racist of the Week on deck. Coming soon. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and I want to thank you for all your incredible suggestions for guests.
Bruh, man, can I get my seat, man? Don't tell. I shouldn't have said here, right?
That could join me on my weekly 8 p.m. live. Now you'll see some of your favorite creators, not only on this platform, but other social media platforms, joining me every Tuesday at 8 p.m. So be on the lookout for that. Now, a lot of you guys have already signed up for my newsletter, but we're going to create a written version of the Reese Waters channel and put our stamp on it and allow us to cover some topics we can't always cover in the videos, or maybe some odds and ends that we couldn't get into the videos. It's almost like when you're in the shower and you remember that perfect line that really would have set that argument off. You know, what you really wanted to say to that ex or coworker.
I don't want to bore you any. You know I love you, I love you, I love you.
No, for real. You can sing with me without touching.
Come on.
You wasting your time by singing to me because I'm not listening.
All the stuff that I forgot and just missed that didn't necessarily make the videos, you can find that in the newsletter. You can sign up for that at reesewaters.com. There, you might also see a bunch of new merch. That's right, I teased it. It is finally here. We have new merch on the website, and we'll be continuing to drop new merch, so make sure you check that out at the website. And speaking of merch, I first want to give a shout out to all the fantastic mods, the mod squad here on the channel that does a fantastic job every single day. But one of our originals, my man Dank, sent me this pic with his I'm Troubled t-shirt, and he looks so good in it. I almost went and ordered another one for myself, but then I realized that, you know, I need to get my front porch fixed. Yeah, it's not gonna look that way on me. No, just the O and the B just be look like it's a bow shirt. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for being such an incredible community and one that gives me so much hope when I wake up every single day.